Okay, Assalamualaikum everyone. Okay, this time I'm going to explain regarding Gauss eliminations and Gauss Jordan. Okay, so you will see an example uh, for both methods. Okay, okay, so now I'm going to show you the screen for the example. Okay, so this is the system of linear equation. So there are three variables and three equations given. Okay, so it's given a minus b plus c equal to 3, 4a minus 3b minus c equal to 6, 3a plus b plus 2c equal to 23. Okay, so the variables are a, b, c. Okay, so solve the above equation using Gauss elimination and Gauss Jordan. Okay, so Gauss elimination is a method containing elementary row operation with backward substitution. And Gauss Jordan, uh, inside this Gauss Jordan, there is Gauss elimination, but there is a continue process after the Gauss elimination. Okay, so we'll show you the method for Gauss elimination. Okay, so first thing is to write down the original system of linear equation here. Everything, the left hand side and the right hand side into the matrix form. Okay, so these are the matrix form. So we just write down just now a minus b plus c equal to 3. So it means that in the matrix form is 1, negative 1, 1. Okay, for the second equation, it's given 4a minus 3b minus c equal to 6. So we write down in the second row 4, negative 3, negative 1, 6. And we do the same thing for the third equation. Okay, so note that this column represent a variable. This column is for b variable. And the third column is for c. Okay, so the last column here represent for the number in the right equation in the original equation. Okay, so we need to do ERO. Okay, so you have seen example before in the previous video. Okay, so what is the purpose for this Gauss elimination? We start with the objective to make it the triangular or the lower part. Okay, in the matrix form, the lower triangular matrix here being 0. Okay, lower part of the matrix. So means that 4, 3, 1 must be 0. Okay, so this one is 1, so no problem. Okay, so the next objective is to make it 4, 3, and this one 0. Okay, first step is to make it 4 and 3 as 0. Okay, so we need to do ERO for row number 2 and row number 3. Okay, so in the next step, row number 2 and 3 must be 0. Okay, for this leading digit. So we use in the formulation with row number 1. Okay, so let's start with row number 2. Okay, row number 2 is 4. Row number 1 is 1. Okay, so in the formulation, we write down the row that we want to change in front. Okay, row number 2. Okay, so we choose with row number 1. So this is the created formulation. Okay, let's see. So here will be 4 minus 4. Row 1 is 1. So means that 4 minus 4 times 1. And then this 4 will be 0. Correct? Okay, so that is the created formulation. The created formulation will be depending on the leading leading digit that we want to make it in that row. Okay, so any number after that, which is negative 3 for negative 1 and also for 6, okay, put it in the formulation and then calculate. So negative 3 now is changed to 1. Okay, so let's see. This negative 3 put here, this is negative 3 minus 4. Here, row 1 is negative 1, right? So negative 4 times negative 1. So we have plus 4. Okay, so negative 3. Okay, plus 4, we got 1. Okay, then for this one also, negative 1, put it in the formulation. Negative 1 minus 4 times 1. So we have negative 5. Then we do the same thing, 6. 6 minus 4 times 3. So we have 6 minus 12. So we get negative 6. Okay, so I have colored this row number 2 with magenta color to show you that this row is representing for row number 2. Okay. Okay, so next one we see for row number 3. Okay, row number 3, this is the original matrix, right? So we have original matrix. Now, this one is 3, so we use row number 1. Okay, so row number 3, when we want to find out what is the created formulation, you cannot use row number 2 because row number 2 is the row that is going to change, right? Okay, so in your formulation, you have to choose the row that in the next step, the row will not be changed. Okay, so row number 3, so we choose row number 1. Okay, no other choice. Okay, so let's see. Created formulation. Okay, so this is 3. We choose row number 1 is 1. So the objective is to make it 3 be 0. So put it here. So we have 3 minus 3. Correct? 3 times 1. So means that 3 minus 3 times 1 means 3 minus 3. So this is the created formulation. Okay? Uh, So that's one when we calculate, it will be 0. Okay, so once we determine that this is the formulation to change for row number 3, and then this number and this number and also this number, you have to put into the created formulation for row number 3. Okay, so this number must be changed to a new one. Okay, so put it in the created formulation. So this is 1 minus 3. So our 1 is here. Okay, put it here. So I hope you have some working paper or empty paper with you to write down. Okay, so 1 minus 3 times negative 1 means that 1 plus 3, right? Negative times negative is positive. So 1 plus 3 is 4. So we get 4 here. So we do similarly with the same formulation for row number 3. Okay, calculate new value. When we put this one into the formulation, then we get negative 1. And then we have this one also. Put it into the formulation. Put it also here. Then we get 14. Okay, so let's see the next matrix. Okay, so this is our new matrix. Okay, from the original form of the matrix, we use ERO. Okay, with the objective to make it that this part 0, right? So now we have reached the first objective. This one is already 0. Okay, so the next objective for the next step is to make it this 4 being 0. Okay, so this is for row number 3, right? Okay, this one is 0, so don't touch it. So the next objective is to make it 4 being 0. Okay. Okay, so now we have to find out what is the formulation in the ERO. Okay, so that is for 0. Okay, so we have 2 rows, right? We have 2 rows. Okay, so we have 2 rows that we have to choose to combine with row number 3. So that 4 be 0. Okay, so we choose, we only can choose row number 2. We cannot choose row number 1 in the new formulation. Okay, because let's say if we choose row number 1, there is non-zero number, right? So if we create the formulation with row number 1 combined with row number 3, so this 0 will be non-zero back. So which we do not want it. Okay, we want to avoid the 0 to be non-zero. Okay, so avoid. Okay, so the only choice that we have is to choose row number 2. Okay, So when we refer to row number 2, the created corresponding elements with this 4 is 1. Okay. So don't look at 0. Look at this 1. 4 correspond to 1. Okay. So when we want to create the formulation, okay. So the objective is to do operation between this one so that 4 plus or minus with this one must be 0. Okay. So this is the formulation. 4 minus 4 times this one equal to 0. Okay. So this is the created formulation. Okay. So the next two numbers, -1 and 14, substitute into our formulation, -1. So the next for this -1, corresponding number here is -5. Okay, so put -1 and -5 to the formulation. Okay, and then we have this number, 19. Okay, this one is already 0. So this one 19. So we do similarly 14. So this 14 plug in this formulation. This is 14 minus 4 times -6. So we have negative and negative. So we have positive 24. So positive 24. So this one 14. 14 plus 24. Then we have 38. Okay, so in this Gauss elimination, we stop at this step. Okay, so we have the lower part in the matrix. Now the lower part already been 0. Okay, so we stop the ERO. Okay, so the next step in the Gauss elimination, we use backward substitution. So recall back, this is a column for A, this is a column for B, this is a column for C. So we will refer to that. This is 19C equal to 38. So we do backward substitution. Okay, so from the last row, row number 3, so write down 19C is equal to 38. So we solve for unknown C. So we have C equal to 2. You can verify this value using your calculator. Okay, so after row number 3, we move to the row number 2. Okay, so this will be 0A plus B minus 5C equal to -6. So you can write down like this one, right? Okay, so we know previously C is 2. So plug in this C2 into this equation, then solve for unknown B. Okay, then we have B is equal to 4. Okay, next one, from row number 2, we move to the row number 1. So this is A minus B plus C is equal to 3. So we write down in the equation as here. Okay, so we already know that the value of C and B, C is 2, B is 4, plug it into this equation, then solve for unknown A, then we have A is equal to 5. Okay. Okay, so this is the solution using Gauss elimination. Okay, so next one, we move to the second step. Sorry, not second step, it's second method. Okay, it's called Gauss-Jordan. Okay, so inside Gauss-Jordan, there is a Gauss elimination. Okay, so I just want to show that first one, similar steps. We write down the equation into the matrix form. So this is original matrix form. Okay, so this matrix here and this one are the same steps that we have in the previous Gauss elimination. Okay, so we do operation so that this one is 0, right? The lower part. Okay, so in the Gauss-Jordan, what is the difference between the Gauss elimination and the Gauss-Jordan? Okay, so for the Gauss-Jordan, after we have reached at the Gauss elimination, means that the lower part of the matrix being 0, then we move to the upper part. Okay, so in the Gauss-Jordan, the objective is to make it the lower part and the upper part being 0, and the diagonal elements in the matrix becomes 1. Okay, so it is actually an extension process after the Gauss elimination. Okay, so I'm not going to explain at this step, so I will just proceed from here to the new matrix. Okay, okay, so this one is a matrix that have the lower part 0. Okay, So in the Gauss Jordan, there is no backward substitution. So everything must be done in the ERO. Okay. So after we have the lower part 0, the next objective is to make it the upper part 0. Okay. Uh, Starting with these numbers, 1 and -5 must be 0. Okay, so from this matrix, to proceed, the next objective is to make it 1 and -5, 0. So 1 is in row number 1. Okay, -5 is row number 2. Okay, so the objective is to make it that the 0, correct? So we choose with row number 3 in your formulation. Okay, so look at the row number 3. Before that, okay, row number 3, the number is a big bigger, right? 1938. So we can make it 1. This 19, we can make it 1. So before we use that row number 3 in the formulation, so make it this 19 being number 1. Okay, how to make it 19? 19, so just divide it by 19, okay? So we have formulation in terms of scalar multiplication. Means that row number 3, everything will be divided by 19. Correct? Okay. So here divide by 19. This one is divided by 19. 0 divided by 19 remains 0. 0 here is also 0. Okay. So we have 0, 0, then 1, 2. Okay. Why we make it that row number 3? This one as 1? Because that it is very simple number. So once we have small number, then it's easy for us to calculate. Okay. Okay, so at this step, we have uh, look at the diagonal is 1, right? So no problem, we can just proceed, make it this upper part. Start with this 1 and -5, 0. Okay, so we want to change row number 1, and we want also to change row number 2. So I'm going to show you and explain the created formulation. Okay, so in row number 1, okay, look at here. Don't look at the numbers first. This one, 1. This is row number 1. So we use row number 3 in the formulation to combine with, right? We cannot choose row number 2 because row number 2 is the row that will be changed later, okay? On the same time, okay? On the same time, we want to change row number 2 also. Okay, so next one, look at 1. This is 1, okay? So we can just deduct, right? 1 minus 1, so it's 0. So no need to multiply with some scalar. So the creative formulation will be R1 minus R2. Okay. So remember that this formulation is depending on the objective or target. Okay, our target. So our target here is to make it this 1, 0. So it corresponds here. So just deduct. Okay. This one minus 1. So R1 minus R3. This is in R3, right? Okay. So this formula is depending at this one and this one. It's not depending here, okay? So this is creative formulation. Okay, so but this one's actually we do similarly, but it's nothing changed, right? Because nothing changed. But this one 3 correspond to this 2, so put it here. This is 3 minus 2, so we get 1. Okay, so next one. We goes to R2, okay? So R2, our target here is to make it the -5 being 0. And then we look at row number 3. You cannot choose row number 1 to combine in the formula, okay? So remember, what is the reason? The reason is we do not want to touch whatever that is already 0, okay? So, and then row number 1 is the row that we want to change, okay? So cannot use. So the only choice is to use row number 3. Okay, so then -5 and 1. How to make it? If -5 plus 1 is -4, right? Okay, so but to make it 0, it's not 0 if we choose that one. So means that this row, this one must be times with 5, okay? Or means multiply by 5, and then we add the two equation. Okay, so we have this formulation R2, which is negative 5 plus 5 times R1. Okay, so this is a formulation. Okay, so remember, you must have the correct formula. So if your formula is wrong and you have wrong objective, so means that everything in your step for solving the variables are wrong. Okay, so this is the created formulation for R2, and then we substitute. Okay, so 0, 0 here, nothing change. Okay, so 1 and 0 also nothing change. You can verify. Put it here. 1 plus 5 times 0. So it means that 1 plus 0. Okay, nothing changed. So remain the same thing with 1. Negative 5 here will be changed to 0. Okay, now do it here also. Put in the formulation negative 6. Okay, negative 6 here plus 5 R3 correspond here 2. So 5 times 2. Negative 6 plus 5 times 2 is 10. So means negative 6 plus 10. So means that 10 minus 6, which is equal to 4. Okay. Now look at this one is already 0. Okay, the last step is to make it this one 0. Okay, because this is also at the upper part, right? So to make it 0, we choose row number 2. Okay, we cannot choose row number 3 because this is 0. So there's nothing that you can create in the formulation if it's 0. Okay, so in your formula, we choose this row number 2 to combine. So we want to change this negative 1. This is R1, right? Okay, we want to change this becomes 0. So we just need to add row number 1 with row number 2. Just add. Okay, so negative 1 plus 1, 0. So this is a created formulation. Okay, so substitute here. 1, this is 1 and 0. So 1 plus 0 is 1. So remain the same number. This 1 plus 1, 0. So we have 0. 0 and 0 is will be 0. Then this 1. 1, this 1 plus 4. Okay, so we have 5. Okay, so this is the last matrix that we have in the Gauss Jordan method. Okay, so see, we have the lower part of the matrix 0. Then we have the upper part of the matrix 0. And we have also the diagonal entries in the matrix 0. Okay, so remember this column for A, this is a column for B, this is a column for C. Okay, so at this step, we have direct solution. So A is equal to 5, B is equal to 4, C is equal to 2. Okay, so the last step is to write down the solution as here. Okay. Okay, so that's all for my explanations regarding Gauss elimination and Gauss Jordan. Okay, so I'm showing you, already shown to you that the simple example between Gauss Jordan and Gauss elimination. Okay, so after this, I hope you can do the given questions. I will inform to you in the group or uh, in the list that I will provide it to you, the list of tutorial that you are supposed to do for this subtopic. Okay, but mostly for this subject, because that's when we have numerical calculation, usually the original system of equations containing fractions or decimal numbers. Okay, decimal number means that floating number or numbers with decimal places. Okay, so that is the crucial part. But I'll show simple example so that you have basic understanding. Okay, to do the ERO. Okay, and then please note that you have to know what is the difference between Gauss elimination and Gauss Jordan. Okay. Okay, so that's all. We will see in the next video. Thank you.